If it's Friday night, say yeah for it's another edition of Strictly Sports NFL Friday. Hello, friends. Anthony Flair here for another edition of Strictly Sports NFL Friday. So glad to have you with us. Unfortunately, Michael Fletcher will not be joining us this evening. I thought for sure he was going to be, but that's why we had the late start here. I do apologize for the delay, but obviously he's not going to be with us. But in the event he does show up, we'll just simply catch him up on what he missed if he does show up. But I'm guessing he will not be. But for the night, I got Michael Bullock here, and when we get to the power rankings, I'll take care of it. Not a problem. I have my power rankings set to go, so nothing more to say. Let's get right into the action of Week 4 of the NFL season, which got underway last night. What a fantastic game between the Minnesota Vikings and the Los Angeles Rams, where the Rams came away with the win, 38-31. I mean, fantastic game. All I can say, a 5-star shootout. Jared Goff and Kirk Cousins put on a show last night, and it was the Rams who came away with the win, and they're now 4-0, and definitely makes my power rankings a lot easier, to say the very least. So with all that being said, let's dive into this week's action, and we'll start it off with the Cincinnati Bengals squaring off against the Atlanta Falcons at Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta. And this game will be on CBS with Greg Gumbel, Trent Green, Bruce Arians, and Melanie Collins. Atlanta opening up as a 3.5-point favorite. Cincinnati leads the all-time series 8-5. Their last meeting was 2014. Cincinnati won 24-10 in Cincinnati. They last met in Atlanta in 2010. Falcons won a 5-star shootout, 39-32. Cincinnati has not won in Atlanta since 1987. So there's that story. So if AJ Green is healthy, the Bengals should be able to attack the Falcon defense, which just lost the third starter. If he's not, the Bengals offense is handicapped without him, or running back Joe Mixon. The Falcons had trouble running the ball against the Saints, which is a good sign for the Bengals after their run defense played poorly against the Panthers in Week 3. The Falcons are banged up on defense, which puts the onus on the offense to take advantage of every scoring opportunity. If rookie Calvin Ridley continues to play at a high level, next to Julio Jones, and the Falcons find a way to block disruptive Bengals defensive lineman Geno Atkins, they should score enough points to win at home. Atlanta opens up as a 66% favorite. No team has moved up more over the course of the season in FPI's rankings than the Bengals, jumping from 25th to 14th. The Falcons might be 1-2, but FPI still ranks them in the top 5, thanks in large part to what it sees as the 5th strongest offense. So I'm going with the Atlanta Falcons to win this game. I'm going to go 28-24 as my final. Nothing more to say. Michael Bullock, come on in. I do apologize for the delay, so let's get into the action. Cincinnati and Atlanta should be a good one.
Yeah, I think this should be a good one. Like you said, the Cincinnati Bengals, I mean, they come in at 2-1, but I mean, both sides feel like they need to improve in certain areas. The Bengals want to improve in their run defense, while the Falcons, of course, want to improve in their running game. But yeah, you still got two good quarterbacks in Andy Dalton and Matt Ryan going at it, and yeah, I mean, I think the thing is the secondary for the Falcons is banged up, and I think this is a golden opportunity for the Cincinnati Bengals to take advantage of it. But in the end, I mean, I have to agree with you. I got to go with the Atlanta Falcons to win this one. My final score, I'm going to say 28-20 is going to be my final score. So nothing more to say. Let's just move right along to the next game, which I'll lead off on.
Tampa Bay Lightning. I'm tongue-tied here. Tampa Bay Buccaneers squaring off against the Chicago Bears at Soldier Field in Chicago. This one's going to be on Fox with Tom Renneman, Chris Spielman, and Shannon Spake. Chicago opening up as a 3-point favorite. These former division rivals, the history favors the Chicago Bears 38-20. Their last meeting was last year in Tampa, where the Bucs won 29-7. The last meeting in Chicago was 2014. Bears won that 21-13. The last time the Bucs won in Chicago, got to go back to 2008. That was a 27-24 overtime win. So nothing more to say here. So Bullock, a renewal of an old NFC Central rivalry with Tampa Bay and Chicago.
Yeah, it is, and of course, the big story, of course, going into this game, who's going to be the starting quarterback? Because let's not forget, Jameis Winston is going to be. I mean, his suspension is basically over. So, but to me, if I know the Buccaneers, you got to go with the hot hand, and that is Ryan Fitzpatrick with the way he's been playing. But the thing is, Fitzpatrick's going to be he's going to have to deal with Khalil Mack. So, I mean, what Fitzpatrick has done, I mean, is unreal for the 35-year-old. I mean, he was named the NFC's Offensive Player of the Week for the first 2 games, and he overcame 3 interceptions to lead a comeback attempt that fell just short in Monday night's loss to the Pittsburgh Steelers. And the thing is, he leads the NFL in passing yards per game with 410, and is second behind Kansas City's Patrick Mahomes in both touchdown passes with 11 and a passer rating of 124.8. So, yeah, that's just impressive for what this 35-year-old has done. And of course, like I said, he's got to deal with Khalil Mack with what he's done so far. I mean, 4 sacks and an interception and 3 forced fumbles for a Bears team that is currently tied for second in the NFL with 8 takeaways. So, and he had another really good game in the Bears' victory over the winless Cardinals with 2 sacks and 5 tackles. Well, Mitchell Trubisky is going to have to play better if they have any chance to beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So, to me, I have to go with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in this one. I think this could be a close one. I say it could be low scoring, but in the end, I think it could be they make just enough plays. So I'm going to say Tampa Bay 20, Chicago 17. So Florio, it's yours. Ryan Fitzpatrick. What can you say about him?
What can you say about Ryan Fitzpatrick? He's been unbelievable this year. But the Bucs won't be hanging 30 or 40 points on a Bears defense that is allowing just more than 18 points a game and pressuring opposing quarterbacks on 30% of their dropbacks. But the Bucs showed last week that even amid a rocky start, they can come back, with Ryan Fitzpatrick throwing 2 fourth-quarter touchdowns and a young defense playing 3 rookie defensive backs, holding the Steelers to 0 points in the second half. The Bears, who lead the NFL with a 12.2% sack dropback ratio, are confident they can get pressure on whoever plays quarterback for the Buccaneers. They'll pressure Ryan Fitzpatrick, Jameis Winston, or both into enough mistakes to win at home. Chicago, a 58% favorite. FPI has weighed in on the Bucs QB controversy. The model, which is blind to suspensions and Fitzmagic, believes the Bucs would have a better shot, 46% with Winston, than with Fitzpatrick at 38%. Hard to believe. So, with that being said, I'm going to have to respectfully disagree with you, Bullock, here. I'm going to have to go with Chicago. I got Chicago winning this game. 24-20, Chicago over Tampa Bay. In this renewal of a once great division rivalry, let me tell you. So, all right, let's move on now to our next matchup, and it will be the Detroit Lions squaring off against the Dallas Cowboys at AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Jerry World as we call it. This will be on Fox with Kevin Burkhardt, Charles Davis, and Pam Oliver. Dallas opening up as 2.5 to 3-point favorites. Series history favors the Dallas Cowboys 13-11. They last met 2 years ago in Dallas, with the Cowboys winning 42-21. The Lions have not won in Dallas since 2011. That was a 34-30 win. So I believe we have all the schematics out of the way. So looking at this matchup, Detroit has the top-ranked pass defense and worst-ranked run defense in the league, and that plays into the strengths of Dallas's offense. The question is whether or not the Lions can do enough on offense to force Dallas to have to win by making Dak Prescott beat them. The Lions discovered offensive balance against the Patriots, and they'll carry that on the road. It'll be a close game. The passing game has been a weakness for the Cowboys dating back to the midway point of last season. The Lions come to AT&T Stadium with the number one pass defense. Perhaps that's because they are allowing 149.3 yards a game on the ground. If there is a week for the Cowboys to go to Ezekiel Elliott, left, right, and up the middle, this is it. Elliott has gone 3 straight games without 20 carries, the longest stretch of his career. If the Cowboys want to copy a model for success, roll out what Seattle did to them last week. So Dallas is a 69% favorite. The Cowboys would have just a 14% chance to reach the playoffs with a loss per FPI. Dallas has reached the playoffs only once before after a 1-3 start. That was back in 96. So tough one to call here, I'll be honest. But at the end, I got to go. I'm going to take a chance, and I'm going to go with Dallas. I mean, 69%, that's pretty high. So I'm going to take a chance, and I'm going to go with Dallas to win here. My final score, I'm going to go 24-16. Dallas wins. So nothing more to say here. So Bullock, I mean, can Detroit make it 2 in a row, especially after that surprising performance against your Patriots last Sunday night? So Bullock, it's yours. I'll meet you, Mike.
Yeah. I forgot about that. So with Detroit, I mean, I don't think anybody saw that coming from them. I mean, to beat the Patriots the way they did. So the thing is, can they keep it up? We'll just have to wait and see. But they're going into Jerry's world to face a Cowboys team that is coming off of a loss to the Seattle Seahawks, and and of course, Dak Prescott. I mean, he hopes to continue developing chemistry with some of his new receivers, and the Dallas offensive line has to keep Prescott from getting sacked 5 times or even more, like he was last week in Seattle. So, and they really need to give Ezekiel Elliott the as many touches as they can. And of course, the Lions, of course, they have the number one pass defense in the NFL 3 weeks into the year. So it's going to be interesting to see how it goes. But in the end, I'm going to say the Dallas Cowboys win this one. My final score, I'm going to say 28-21 Dallas over Detroit. So let's move on to our next game, which I will talk about.
Yeah, and let's try to move it along a little bit. Even though I don't have any commitments here, I just want to kind of get this thing rolling here. Not too much detail, but Buffalo Bills against the Green Bay Packers at Lambeau Field in Green Bay. This one will be on CBS with Ian Eagle, Dan Fouts, and Evan Washburn. We got Green Bay opening up as 8.5 to 10-point favorites. Buffalo, believe it or not, leads the all-time series 8-4. Their last meeting was 2014 in Buffalo, which the Bills won 21-13. Last meeting at Lambeau was 2010. Packers all day, 34-7. Buffalo has not won at Green Bay since 1991. That's back when they were playing in Milwaukee. Last time the Bills actually won at Lambeau, their very first meeting in 1974, a 27-7 final. So, all right, Bullock. I mean, Buffalo had the upset of the week last week against Minnesota. They went into Minnesota and they manhandled the Vikings. Can they do the same against the Packers? And if they do, I think they'll find themselves in the rankings next week.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think anybody saw that coming with the Buffalo Bills with what they did last week against Minnesota. But I mean, I think I don't think they're going to do the same with the Green Bay Packers. Of course, let's not forget they're going up against Aaron Rodgers. So I think it could be a tough day for the Buffalo Bills. So I'm going to say the Green Bay Packers win this game. My final score, I'm going to go 31-14 is going to be my final score. I think I just think Buffalo's going to have a very tough time trying to contain Aaron Rodgers. So nothing more to say. Florio, what's yours?
Opponents opposed to the total QBR of 50 or better in 7 of 10 road games for the Bills under coach Sean McDermott. In his career at home, Aaron Rodgers is 49-6-1 when he posts a total QBR of 50 or better. it would be an upset if Buffalo can make Rodgers look like a below-average quarterback, and also if Rodgers loses at home playing average or above average. How will a roughing the passer call affect this game? That seems to be on everyone's mind around the Packers. They lead the NFL with 5 such penalties through 3 weeks, but at least Sunday's referee, Bill Vinovich, has only called 2 so far. Maybe the Packers will get away clean for a change and enjoy an easy win. So, but I think Buffalo's going to make it closer than people think. Green Bay, 76% favorite. No team had a bigger improvement in its FPI after last week than Buffalo. FPI raised its estimation of the Bills by 4 points, one of the biggest one-week improvements independent of QB change in the metrics history. So, but I'm going with Green Bay to win this one. Like I said, I think it's going to be closer than people think. I'm going to go, let me see. I'm going to go 28-21, Green Bay over Buffalo. So there's really nothing more to say on that one. So with that, let's move on to the next matchup, and it's the Houston Texans squaring off against the Indianapolis Colts at Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis. This one will be on CBS with Spiro Dedes and Anna Marcelletta. Indianapolis opening up as a 1-point favorite with another spread calling this a pick'em game, which I find hard to believe, but they are. And series history, all Indianapolis. They lead at 25-7. Indy won both meetings last year, including in Indianapolis, 22-13. Houston's last win in Indy was the year before, 2016. That was a 22-17 final. So now let's get into this matchup here. In its first 3 games, Houston combined for 19 points in the first half and 40 in the second half. DeAndre Hopkins has gone 5 consecutive games without a first quarter reception. This is a must win for the Texans if they want to have any chance of turning around their season. But they'll fall short in Indianapolis against the Colts team that has also been competitive in all 3 of its games. The Colts are 2 failed red zone attempts in the final minute of their 2 losses from being 3-0. They only scored 1 touchdown on 5 attempts inside the 20-yard line against Philadelphia in Week 3. Texans are 21st in the league in that category. The Colts make it 2 straight over the Texans in Indianapolis after losing 2 in a row to them at Lucas Oil Stadium. Indy, a 61% favorite. Are the Colts easing Andrew Luck back in after a long layoff, or is something missing from his game? Luck's average target depth has been just under 5.5 yards, which is far below his career average. Deshaun Watson, on the other hand, has been aggressive passing downfield, with his average target depth being over 11 yards downfield. So there's really nothing more to say here. I'm going with the Indianapolis Colts to win this game. 23-17, that's my final. Nothing more to say except Bullock. I mean, we were all very high on Houston going into the season. They're 0-3 so far, and I hate to say it, but unless I see something different from them, I think they're going to be 0-4.
And let's not forget, I thought you were going to say something to me that, because remember, I had Houston winning the division, so I thought you were going to say, I told you so. But yeah, boy, I mean, I certainly have been wrong about this Houston team so far. And fortunately, I do expect that trend to continue as well. So really got nothing more to say. I'm gonna go with the Indianapolis Colts to win this one. I think it should be a close one. I'm gonna say 27-24. Colts beat the Texans, and unfortunately, the Texans go to 0-4. So nothing more to say. Let's move on to the next game, which I'll lead off on.
The New York Jets squaring off against the Jacksonville Jaguars at TIAA Cref Stadium in Jacksonville. This one's going to be on Fox with Dan Hellie, Jeff Fisher, and Karen Bryant. We have Jacksonville opening up as 7.5 to 9-point favorites. Series history, it's tied. It's 6-6. Their last meeting was last year in New York with the Jets winning 23-20 in overtime. Matter of fact, the Jets have won each of the last 4 meetings. They've won 4 in a row against Jacksonville, including their last meeting in Jacksonville, which was 2012. Jets won that 17-10. The Jaguars last beat the Jets at home back in 2006, a 41-0 beatdown there. So the Bullock, I mean, the Jets, they were on the wrong side of history as they became the first casualty of the Cleveland Browns in since Christmas Eve of 2016 on Thursday last week. And what happened to Jacksonville? What was that last week? Losing at home 9-6 to Tennessee after that big win against your Patriots? What happened there?
Yeah, I'm basically saying the same thing after what I saw last week. I'm like, what the heck happened? I mean, this Jaguars team, I mean, wasn't the same that we saw that we saw the week before when they beat my team, the Patriots, and they didn't even score a touchdown in that game, and yeah, I mean they looked to bounce back in a big way. I mean, the Jaguars, I mean, they only mustered 232 yards of total offense and 12 first downs. So, and the thing is, Leonard Fournette, I mean, he once again he missed another game because of that injury. So, and he could be a game time decision for this week's game. And Blake Bortles was pretty much the Blake Bortles bore. So, and the Jets, I mean, what can you say? I mean, they had a big game against Detroit the first night. Sam Darnold did, and then they basically went down the old tube and losing the last two. But I do expect Jacksonville to bounce back and win this one. I'm going to say my final score is going to be Jacksonville 27, the Jets 14. I think the Jacksonville defense is going to continue to play well, and I expect that offense to play a lot better than what they did last week. So, Florida, what's yours?
The Jets aren't in a good place offensively. Only 2 touchdown drives, longer than 28 yards in the past 2 games. And now they're supposed to rebound against arguably the best defense in the league on the road with a rookie quarterback. Not happening. Their only chance is if they turn Blake Bortles into Tyrod Taylor. It's looking good for the Jags to have back Leonard Fournette and A.J. Cann. Fournette, who hasn't played since the first half of the season opener, was missed last week against Tennessee, especially with T.J. Yeldon banged up. Coach Doug Marrone said Fournette won't be limited whenever he returns. That should boost an offense that couldn't get into a rhythm and didn't execute in the red zone last week. So I agree with you, Bullock. I got Jacksonville bouncing back. I mean, Jacksonville is a 73% favorite. After posting an 83 total QBR in week 1, Sam Darnold has followed it up with a 24.6 over his past 2 games. It won't get any easier against the Jaguar defense that has given up the lowest opposing QBR since the start of last season. So I'm going with Jacksonville to win. My final score, 23-13. Jacksonville over the Jets. So nothing more to say except now we move on to one of our big games of the week. I consider this the number 2 game, believe it or not, on our side of the ledger. And it's the Buddy Bowl. This is the Buddy Bowl we've all been waiting for. MF, Michael Fletcher, and Eric Carrier, and their Miami Dolphins, their 3-0 Miami Dolphins, squaring off against Michael Bullock and Derek Ferrera's New England Patriots, who are 1-2. What's wrong with that picture? We all thought it would be the other way around. We all thought maybe Miami would be 1-2 and New England would be 3-0, but my, how the times have changed. But this game will be on CBS. The Miami Dolphins and the New England Patriots from Gillette Stadium in Foxborough. We got Kevin Harlan along with Rich Gannon and Steve Tasker. The Patriots opening up as 6.5 to 7-point favorites. Miami leads the all-time series 53-49. They split both meetings last year, both teams winning at home. New England winning in Foxborough 35-17. The Miami Dolphins have not won in Foxborough since back in 2008 when they put a 38-13 beat down on the Patriots in Foxborough. We all remember that. That was the year Tom Brady got hurt and Matt Castle was the starter and Chad Pennington was there and the infamous Wildcat. So Trying to think here for a minute. I believe I start this one because I think Bullock led off on the last one. So yeah. So number 2 game of the week. I mean, I could consider this the Derek Ferreira and Michael Bullock game right here because because it is their team after all, and of course MF and Eric Carey with the Dolphins, the Buddy Bowl here. The Dolphins haven't won in Foxborough in a decade, and this appears to be one of their best chances catching a struggling New England team. This also seems like a prime opportunity for Tom Brady to get right at home against the Miami defense that will be without key defenders William Hayes and Andre Branch, and likely Chase Allen. A Dolphins loss will show there's progress needed to catch the Patriots in the AFC East. The first thing Bill Belichick noted about the Dolphins in his midweek news conference was that they ranked first in the NFL in average drive start, 31.7 yard line, on kickoffs and are tied for second in the NFL with a +4 turnover differential. It sounds like he is expecting a field position type of game in which a turnover could sway the outcome. I like the Patriots to bounce back after back-to-back losses. So I think it's going to be closer than people think, but I'm going with the New England Patriots to win. I mean, they are 72%. The FPI win projection favors New England 72%. Obviously, neither team can win the AFC East on Sunday, but the winner can go a long way in taking control of the race. If the Dolphins pull the upset in Foxborough, it would be Miami in control of the division as a 68% favorite. If the Pats hold serve at home, they'd be the majority favorites at 57%. But I've got the New England Patriots winning this game. My final score, 31-23, New England over Miami. It's going to be a lot closer than people think because this Miami team is for real. Even if they lose, I still think they're for real. And I know MF would be very happy hearing me say that if he was here. But 31-23, New England over Miami. So Bullock, I mean, this is your game right here. I mean, for you and Derek, I mean, this is put up or shut up time for New England. We saw what Derek did after last week. God forbid what he will do if Miami wins this one.
Oh my gosh, I'm praying that they win here, so that way we don't have to deal with another one of Derek Ferreira's profanity-laced tirades. I mean, I'm pretty sure you.
I saw it. We all saw it.
Yeah, and I'll just say it, make it short and sweet. It's trifling unnecessary with what he's doing. Some of the things he said, some of the things he's doing. That's all I'm going to say on it. So, yeah, getting to this, I mean, yeah, this is a big game for the Patriots, but then again, you could also say it's a big game for Miami because this is a chance for them to basically come out and try to prove to everyone that, hey, we are for real. And the last time I checked that they won a game in Foxborough was ironically 10 years ago. And remind me, for what happened on that day 10 years ago when the Dolphins won?
Well, two things. One, Tom Brady was hurt, and the other, the Wildcat, Chad Pennington.
Yeah, that was the big moment from that game, the Wildcat, when the late Tony Sperano, God rest his soul, first unveiled the Wildcat to everybody. So yeah, so like you said, I think this is going to be a close one, but in the end, I'm going to go with my team, the Patriots, to win this one. And yeah, I'll go by that same score, 27-24. Will be my final score as well. So yeah, so there's really nothing more that needs to be said for you. So let's just move right along to the next game, which I'll lead off on.
I had a different final score. I said 31-23. So, but if you want to say 27-24, that's cool. That's fine. So,
yeah, I'm gonna go with that because I just think it's gonna be really close.
Fair enough. All right, let's move on to our final early kickoff here, our final 1:00 game on Sunday. This should be, and I consider this a sleeper matchup here. This one has potential to be something special here if all goes well. The Philadelphia Eagles, your reigning and defending undisputed Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles, squaring off against the Tennessee Titans at Nissan Stadium in Nashville. on Fox. Chris Myers, Daryl Moose Johnston, and Laura Oakman. We have Philly opening up as 3 to 4 point favorites. Series history also favors Philadelphia 7-4. Their last meeting was 2014 in Philadelphia. All Eagles in that one, 43 to 24. Their last meeting in Nashville, 2010. All Tennessee in that one, 37 to 19. Philly has never won in Nashville. However, the last time they won against the Tennessee Titans, it was back when they were the Houston Oilers, believe it or not. All the way back in 1991 when the Philadelphia Eagles stole one in the old Astrodome, a 13-6 final for Philadelphia back in 91. So it's been a long time since they won at the franchise. So nothing more to say here. So Bullock, I mean, our last 1 o'clock kickoff, Philly and Tennessee. Philly got back on track with a nice win over Indianapolis, and of course Tennessee. What an effort in a 9-6 defensive battle against Jacksonville, which would make MF very happy.
Yeah, I mean, Philadelphia definitely got back on track after that loss, but I'll tell you what, I mean, Carson Wentz, I mean, I thought he looked good in his first game back for that torn ACL, with throwing for 255 yards and a touchdown against the Colts. So that Titans defense will certainly want to try to keep them confined to the pocket if they can and win the matchups along the front. So after what and of course, that defense of Tennessee basically looked really good when Wesley Woodyard had 12 tackles and also had 3 tackles for a loss and a sack, and Jarrell Casey's been playing good, but I think they're gonna have a tough time with this Philadelphia Eagles offense. Like I said, now with Carson Wentz back, so I'm gonna say the Philadelphia Eagles win this one. I'm gonna say my final score is gonna be 34 to 20 is gonna be my final score. So yeah, nothing more to say. So that pretty much does it for the 1 o'clock game. So let's get on to the late slate of the late afternoon slate of games, which I'll lead off on.
What about me?
I'm sorry. Jeez Louise, I can't believe I forgot about you. So, Flory, what's yours?
In the immortal words of the great Raven, what about me? What about Raven?
Or in the immortal words of Morocco Mole, whoopsie.
Yeah, whoopsie indeed. But now I'm just having fun with you, Well, you know that. I don't blame. I'm sure it's been a long day for you. It's been an equally long day for me, but nonetheless, the Eagles defense yielded 25 points a game as the visitor last season compared to 12 points at home in 2017, and the trend has continued through 3 games this season. Fortunes could change some this week against a Titan team that is near the bottom of the league in scoring at 16.3 a game. Carson Wentz should get a weapon or two back Sunday, and the offense will do enough to get the job done. Titans are looking to make a statement with a win over the defending Super Bowl champions. They have won 11 of the last 13 at home. Tennessee's physical defense will keep the game close, while Marcus Mariota and the offense find a way to generate a couple of big gains against an overly aggressive Eagles secondary that is without safety Rodney McLeod. Philadelphia, a 62% favorite. Carson Wentz's total QBR, 36.3 in his first week back, was his lowest in the game since week 11 of 2016 at Seattle. For the Titans, Mariota apparently wasn't healthy enough to start, but he was healthy enough to post the team's best QBR of the season with a 62.2 in relief of an injured Blaine Gabbert. So, very tough to call, I will not lie, but I have to go with Philadelphia. I agree with you, Bullock. I mean, 62%, I think that's good enough for me. But I would not be surprised if Tennessee were to pull a massive upset here. I mean, especially after what they did to Jacksonville last week. So, but I'm going with Philadelphia nonetheless. 23-17, Philadelphia over Tennessee. So, nothing more to say except now let's get into the late games. as part of week number 4. And we started off with an NFC West Division matchup. The Seattle Seahawks squaring off against the Arizona Cardinals at University of Phoenix Stadium in Glendale. This one on Fox with the legendary Dick Stockton, Mark Schlereth, and Jennifer Hale. Seattle opening up as 3 to 3.5 point favorites. Series history favors Arizona 19-18 with a tie. They split both meetings last year, both teams winning on the road. Seattle winning in Arizona 22-16. The Cardinals have not beaten the Seahawks at home since 2012. That was a 20-16 final. But Seattle has won 5 in a row in Arizona. Well, actually, they're 4-0-1 in Arizona. Don't forget that infamous god-awful tie on that Sunday, I believe it was a Thursday night a couple of years ago. That 6-6 draw. That was a Sunday night, I beg your pardon. So, okay. For all the misfortune the Seahawks have experienced at State Farm Stadium in recent years, Super Bowl 49 and the franchise-altering injuries to Richard Sherman and Cam Chancellor, they've gone 4-0-1 over the past 5 regular season games there. That the Seahawks already have 8 takeaways is evidence of how well their defense has played despite all the key losses and new faces. So you have to like their chances of forcing Josh Rosen into some mistakes in his first career start. The Cardinals' offense, worst in the NFL, hopes to get an injection of yards and points by starting Rosen. But will that be enough? Arizona faces a Seahawks defense that has the best interception rate in the NFL. The Cardinals haven't beaten the Seahawks at home since 2012. Seattle a 67% favorite. It might not be the halcyon days of the Legion of Boom, but the Seahawks defense is still strong, ranking 8th in defensive FPI and 7th in defensive efficiency. FPI knows Rosen played decently in a small number of plays last week, but a full game against a good defense should give us an early glimpse into what to expect from the 10th overall pick in the 2018 draft. Nothing more to say. I got Seattle. This one's not going to be close. I think Seattle should have no trouble with Arizona whatsoever. 27-10. I got Seattle over Arizona. Nothing more to say. Bullock, I mean, we saw that old school Seattle team against Dallas. I mean, they looked really good against Dallas, but Bullock, I mean, as you unmute your mic, I mean, Arizona, I mean, Arizona, that's not so good, Al.
Yeah, Arizona, they didn't look so good here. I mean, they actually are going to start Josh Rosen, but the thing is, of course, I think Seattle's definitely going to give them a rude welcome here. So I expect the Seahawks to have no problems with the Cardinals. So I'm going to say Seattle wins. My final score, I'm going to say 21-14 is going to be my final score. So nothing more to say. Let's move on to the next game I'll lead off on.
And it's the other 4:05 kickoff on Fox. And normally this is a game that you would see on CBS, but no, this one's going to be on Fox this time around. The Cleveland Browns squaring off against the Oakland Raiders at the Oakland Alameda County Coliseum in Oakland, the Black Hole, as MF would call it. This one on Fox with Kenny Albert, Rondé Barber, and Megan O'Leary. Oakland, the Raiders, opening up as 2.5 to 3 point favorites. Oakland leads the all-time series 12-10. Their last meeting was 2015 in Cleveland, which the Raiders won 27-20. Last meeting in Oakland was in 2012, and believe it or not, the Cleveland Browns actually won that game 20-17. The Raiders' last home win against the Browns was the year before, 2011. That was a 24-17 final. So I believe all the schematics out of the way. So the Bullock, I mean, after 635 days last week, the Cleveland Browns finally did the impossible. They finally won a game. And the Raiders, I mean, you know, they hung with Fletcher's Dolphins, but unfortunately they fell to 0-3. So can the Browns do it? Can the Browns make it 2 in a row? And if so, break them up.
Yeah, I mean, it's about time that the Cleveland Browns got a win here, and and because of what Baker Mayfield did, he's going to get his first start ever going up again. And what a way for him to go into the black hole against the Oakland Raiders. But right now, things are not looking so good for the Oakland Raiders. So yeah, I mean, yeah, it's gonna be a rough day for Oakland. I mean, their defense hasn't been the same since they got rid of Khalil Mack, and I mean, the Raiders. I mean, they're almost. I mean, they're in the top 10 in total offense, but they've made some mistakes, and like I said, the defense hasn't done really well. So I can't believe I'm saying this, but I think the Cleveland Browns are going to make it two in a row here. I'm going to say my final score is going to be 21-17. So Florio, what's yours?
Yeah, I mean, I'm right there with you. I mean, it's dangerous to jump in after one half of play, but Baker Mayfield's debut showed too many good signs to ignore, especially when facing a winless team that is giving up 27 points a game and is last in the league in sacks. Safe to say, I think the Browns are going to start a winning streak and break them up. But the Raiders' 3 sacks are last in the league. The Browns have given up 14. This is the week Oakland's pass rush finally gets going with veteran Bruce Irvin and rookie Arden Key on the edges. Yes, even against a more mobile gunslinger in Baker Mayfield, we expect him to get home. Raiders coach John Gruden said of Key, hopefully soon. With Derek Carr completing nearly 80% of his passes, this could be a shootout. And the Raiders, who have been outscored by a combined 37-3 in the fourth quarter thus far. So, and even though Oakland is a 66% favorite, I mean, Mayfield gets a soft landing for his first NFL start as the Raiders have the second lowest pressure rate in the league. So I'm right there with you, Bullock. I agree. I'm going with the Cleveland Browns to win as well. Hard to believe I'm saying that, but it's true. 27-20. Give me the Cleveland Browns over the Oakland Raiders. So nothing more to say. Let's move on to our 425 kickoffs. Um, we have the San Francisco 49ers squaring off against the Los Angeles Chargers, a game that you would normally see on Fox. But, well, as a matter of fact, both 425 games on CBS are games you would normally see on Fox, but somehow CBS has them. Now, like I said, first one is the San Francisco 49ers against the Los Angeles Chargers at the StubHub Center in Carson City, California. Um, Andrew Catalan and James Lofton on the call. Spread favors the Chargers. Chargers are the biggest favorites of the week, opening up as 10 to 11.5 point favorites. Chargers lead the all-time series 7-6. Their last meeting was 2014 in San Francisco, which the Chargers won a 5-star shootout, 38-35 in overtime. I believe that was a Saturday night game, if I recall. Their last meeting was when the Chargers were the home team. It was when they were in San Diego in 2010. All Chargers, 34-7. Chargers have won the last 4 meetings between these two teams. The Niners last beat the Chargers back in the year 2000. That was a 45-17 beatdown, and that was in San Diego. So that's also the last time they won at the Chargers. So all the schematics out of the way, and I believe I start this one off. So Phillip Rivers is off to one of the best starts of his career, and this week gets to face a 27th ranked 49er pass defense that is battling a variety of injuries. Even if the Niners hadn't lost quarterback Jimmy Garoppolo to a season-ending ACL injury, this would have been an uphill climb. Without him, it looks like far too much to overcome in the Niners' 5th straight regular season loss to the Bolts. The Chargers are heavy favorites at home and face a San Francisco team starting backup quarterback C.J. Beathard. Even without Joey Bosa, the Chargers will muster enough pass rush to create consistent pressure up front and negate the Niners' effective run game. The Bolts offense should put up enough points to hold the 49ers at bay. Chargers, 76% favorites. I mean, what does life after Jimmy G look like? FPI still would have had the Chargers as solid favorites if Garoppolo were playing, but the Niners would have had a 31% chance to win. So, yeah, so nothing more to say here. I got the Chargers. I got them rather handily this time around, I'm afraid. 27-13, LA Chargers over San Francisco. If it had been Jimmy G, I would have said 28-20, but I'm going 27-13 in favor of the Chargers. So nothing more to say. Bullock, move on to you. I mean, we thought this was going to be a different year for the 49ers, especially with your old friend Jimmy G. But after he tore his ACL against Kansas City, I'm afraid it's back to hard times for Niner fans.
Yeah, hopefully enjoy that time with Jimmy G, because now that he's torn his ACL, yeah, it's back to hard times for you guys there. So yeah, I really got nothing more to say. I expect I got the LA Chargers winning this one. I'm going to say 28-13 is going to be my final score. Yeah, I think there's really nothing more that needs to be said. So let's just move on to the next game, which I'll lead off on.
And it's our other 425 kickoff. And like I said, this is a game that you would normally see on Fox, but no, CBS is actually going to have it. The New Orleans Saints squaring off against the New York Giants, MetLife Stadium in the Meadowlands in East Rutherford, New Jersey. And who's calling this game? Hello, friends. Yes, Jim Nantz, Tony Romo, and Tracy Wolfson will have this one. The Saints opening up as 3 to 3.5 point favorites. Series history favors the Giants by a count of 16-13. Their last meeting was 2016 in the Meadowlands, and the Giants won that one 16-13. Of course, we will never forget 2015, that epic 52-49 shootout in the Superdome. The Giants have won the last two meetings in New York, 16-13 2016, and then in 2012, a 52-27 beatdown for the Giants. The Saints have not won at the Giants since 2006. That was a 30-7 beatdown there. So Bullock, I mean, this one's got potential to be another shootout here. You know, Drew Brees, Eli Manning, and a lot of great young studs in this one. So Saints and Giants, I mean, this one definitely has the potential to be something really good.
Oh yeah, this could be something really good. I mean, the Saints. I mean, what can you say? I mean, they've been lighting up the scoreboard through 3 games with an NFC best 104 points, thanks in large part to Drew Brees. And, of course, he once again got NFC Offensive Player of the Week for the 23rd time in his career. And, boy, what a game he had in that thrilling overtime victory over the Falcons, throwing for 396 yards and 3 touchdowns, and adding 2 on the ground, including 1 in the overtime period that won the game. And, of course, you got Michael Thomas, one of his top guys. You got Alvin Kamara, who was enjoying a really good start to his sophomore year. I mean, while the offense is good, the defense is definitely a work in progress. They have surrendered a league worst 34.3 points per contest, and the Giants, I mean, have scored just 55 points in 3 games, and they hope to find some offensive rhythm for the second overall pick, Saquon Barkley, and star receiver Odell Beckham Jr. So I expect this to be another really good one, but in the end, I'm going to go with the New Orleans Saints to win this one. I think this could be another high-scoring affair. I'm going to go 34-31, the Saints over the Giants. So, Flory, what's yours?
Yeah. The Saints offense ranks second in the NFL at 34.7 points a game. The defense ranks dead last with 34.3 points allowed per game. Giants wide receiver Sterling Shepard could have a big game after the Saints lost nickel corner Patrick Robinson to injured reserve. Saints pass rusher Cameron Jordan could also have a field day against the Giants' struggling offensive line. The Saints should be able to generate enough pressure to add to their total of 1 takeaway this season. Giants have allowed 20.7 points over the first 3 weeks of the season, but this will be the real test for their bend but don't break defense. They haven't faced a passing attack like the Saints, who are averaging 345.3 yards a game. this isn't an ideal matchup for a Giants defense that can't sack the quarterback, 4 sacks, and is middle of the pack against the pass despite playing Jacksonville, Dallas, and Houston. Closest call of the week. It's a split down the middle, but FPI is saying New Orleans 50%. For all the Giants playmakers, the team ranks just 26th in offensive efficiency, but the Saints present an opportunity to get on the right track as they have been the league's worst defensive team. So this will be on the higher scoring side, but I have to go with the New Orleans Saints to win this one. I'm going to go 27-24 New Orleans over the Giants in the Meadowlands. Should be a good one. So nothing more to say except now the final 2 games that we have in our top 3 games of the week on our side of the ledger. Realistically, this next game should be number 2, but MF and I agreed to put it down to 3 because of the Miami and New England saga with the storylines in that one, especially with Miami being 3-0. But this is going to be a beauty. We got 2 fantastic AFC rivalries closing out week 4 here. Sunday Night Football gets it started. The Baltimore Ravens and the Pittsburgh Steelers at Heinz Field in Pittsburgh. Al Michaels, Chris Collinsworth, Michelle Tafoya on the call. Pittsburgh opening up as 3-point favorites. Series history also favors the Pittsburgh Steelers 24-20. Pittsburgh won both meetings last year. And of course, who will ever forget? I mean, let me just say it like this. The last 3 meetings these teams have had in Pittsburgh have all been 5-star classics, chock full of Shakespearean drama at its absolute finest. 2015, the last time the Ravens won in Pittsburgh, a 23-20 overtime win. And then, of course, Christmas 2016, who will ever forget it? The Steelers, 31-27 winners. One of the greatest regular season games of all time. And then last year, they had another 5-star on a Sunday night with the Steelers winning that in Pittsburgh, 39-38. So if the last 3 years haven't been any indication, friends, we're looking at another 5-star classic chock full of Shakespearean drama, like it always is when these two get together. So I believe that I've covered all the schematics here. So and I get to start it off. So okay, the Ravens have lost 7 of their past 8 regular season games against Ben Roethlisberger at Heinz Field. Why? Baltimore can't stop Big Ben when it matters. He has owned the Ravens in the fourth quarter, throwing 7 touchdowns and 0 interceptions. Again, 7 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. The Steelers have won their last 10 primetime games, and in 4 games at Heinz Field during that stretch, Ben Roethlisberger has 1,520 yards with 14 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. Baltimore is much improved and averages 32.3 points a game heading into a matchup with one of the league's worst pass defenses. However, Pittsburgh looks primed to handle a shootout. Pittsburgh, a 56% favorite. It would have been hard to imagine a prediction this close in the preseason, but FPI has a big crush on the Ravens. It's mostly the defense, definitely the special teams, and not really Joe Flacco. So I got this as a high-scoring game, but nonetheless, I'm going with the Pittsburgh Steelers to win this one. My final score, I'm going to go... this is tough. Tough to predict the score here. But I got Pittsburgh winning. I'm going to go... Let's go 31-30. 31-30, Pittsburgh over Baltimore. Another 5-star Shakespearean drama classic shootout. Really nothing more to say here. So Bullock, I mean, Baltimore and Pittsburgh, always fun when these two get together, especially in Pittsburgh. And I mean, come on, Bullock. I mean, the last 3 years, the last 3 games these teams have played in the regular season in Pittsburgh, they've all been classics. And I expect nothing short of a 4th here. So Bullock, unmute your mic and let's get your thoughts on Ravens and Steelers, one of our top 3 games of the week on our side of the ledger.
Oh yeah, this is a game that I'm definitely gonna have some interest in. I mean, with it being one of the great rivalries in the NFL, especially in the AFC North, with the Ravens and the Steelers, and know the long history with these two teams, so I expect this to be another classic with these two. I mean, and let's not forget they've met a couple times in the playoffs. Of course, Pittsburgh getting the edge of Baltimore in both times. So yeah, so I mean both teams with their offenses looking good so far in the first three games, and I expect this could be another shootout. So I'm gonna say Pittsburgh wins, but my final score is gonna be 31-27. So nothing more to say, Florio. It's on to Monday Night Football.
And I only wish MF was here because this is the game that we have dubbed as our Tony and Mikey special here. This is our game of the week right here. Monday Night Football. The Kansas City Chiefs squaring off against the Denver Broncos at Broncos Field in Mile High in Denver. Monday Night Football on ESPN. Joe Tessitore, Jason Witten, Booger McFarland, and Lisa Salters. Kansas City opening up as 4.5 to 5-point favorites. Kansas City also leads the all-time series 61-54. Kansas City winning both meetings last year, which means they won in Denver. That was a 27-24 win. And matter of fact, the Kansas City Chiefs have won each of the last three meetings in Denver. 27-24 last year, 30-27 in overtime in 2016, and 29-13 in 2015. The Broncos last beat the Chiefs at home in 2014. That was a 24-17 final. So, Bullock, I mean, this is the RAFC game of the week for me and MF. That is the Kansas City Chiefs and the Denver Broncos in Denver. And your boy, Bullock, your boy, Patrick Mahomes, who you were so high on during the preseason. Yeah, right. But boy, howdy, has he proven you wrong. 13 touchdown passes and counting.
Yeah, I mean, boy, and like I told you before, Florio, I'm eating that slice of humble pie right now after what we've seen from Patrick Mahomes so far in the first three games. I mean, I'll tell you this right now, Florio. I mean, the Kansas City Chiefs. I mean, they're looking like geniuses for trading away Alex Smith in the offseason and turning it over to a second-year quarterback in Patrick Mahomes. I mean, they are averaging a league-high 39.3 points a game, and Patrick Mahomes has already made history before Kansas City even hits the quarter point of the 16-game campaign, becoming the first quarterback to throw for 13 touchdowns in the first three games of a season, and he has not yet been intercepted. I mean, that's just unreal. I mean, and last week against the 49ers, he threw for 314 yards for three scores, and now Patrick Mahomes is going to go up against probably one of the best defensive players on the Broncos in Von Miller, and yeah, I mean he's going to be tested, but I expect him to have another big game, especially when you got Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce, and of course Sammy Watkins and Kareem Hunt. So it's going to be tough for that Denver defense to basically slow down this Kansas City offense. So I'm going to say Kansas City wins. I'm going to say 38-20 is going to be my final score. I expect another big performance by Patrick Mahomes. So, yeah, nothing more to say. Florio, it's yours. Now, I'll tell you this right now. I mean, if the season were to end, I can't believe I'm saying this, Patrick Mahomes would be my MVP.
I agree. I mean, but you could also make an argument for Jared Goff in LA, and you could also make an argument for Ryan Fitzpatrick as well. But if we were to have an MVP at the quarter point of the season so far, it would definitely have to be Patrick Mahomes. Absolutely correct. But nonetheless, the Chiefs have beaten the Broncos 5 consecutive times because they found a way to crack Denver's defense. Kansas City has at least 27 points in each of those games. All but one happened with Alex Smith at quarterback. Under Patrick Mahomes, the Chiefs have even greater capability, and it has showed in their production. The Chiefs lead the league in scoring at more than 39 points a game, and they'll find a way to outscore the Broncos again. The Chiefs have outscored their opponents 49-6 in the opening quarter and ridden that margin to 3 wins. The Broncos will need the discipline to avoid the silly penalties they've had already this season, as well as the discipline to stick with a running game that has shown it can power the ball on anybody if they're willing to stay with it. Kansas City, a 58% favorite. How hot has Patrick Mahomes' starts been? I mean, his 90.7 total QBR through 3 games is the 4th best in the first 3 weeks of a season since 2006. So, nothing more to say. I got Kansas City winning. I think this has the potential to be another 5-star Shakespearean drama classic. I'm going with Kansas City, 34-27. Kansas City over Denver. Really quick, Thursday Night Football. The next Thursday Night Football game is the Indianapolis Colts and the New England Patriots in Foxborough. Let's be realistic. It's going to be New England. I mean, nothing more to say there. I mean, the Colts haven't won in Foxborough since 2006, and I don't see that happening here. So I definitely have New England, and I'm sure Bullock will concur with me on that. So there's really nothing more to say here except now. But before we get into our power rankings, just one quick thing I want to address. This is the start of bye weeks, and the Carolina Panthers and the Washington Redskins on the bye this week. So just wanted to get that squared away. So with all that being said, let's get into our NFL power rankings. And don't worry, Bullock, I got this. So definitely some changes from last week, without question. But with all that being said, let's dive right on in. I'm going to start it off at number 10. Just give me 1 minute here. We got a pop-up video here. Just give me one moment. Okay. All right, here we go. Number 10, I'm going with the Pittsburgh Steelers. They seemed to right things on Monday against the Bucs. The defense played a little better, but it's still leaky. My number 9, Carolina Panthers. That was an impressive victory against the Cincinnati Bengals. They head to the bye at 2-1 and have to be feeling pretty good. New Orleans Saints come in at number 8. They have major defensive issues that need to be fixed, but that offense can score on anybody. My number 7, the Washington Redskins. They bounced back from a tough home loss to play a nice game against the Packers. They head to the bye feeling good about their 2-1 start. Even though they lost, I still have the Jacksonville Jaguars at number 6. There is no excuse for losing a game at home to the Tennessee Titans, who are shorthanded. They have to learn how to handle success. And speaking of the Tennessee Titans, I have them in my top 5. I got them at number 5. At 2-1, they've won 2 games with little offense and issues on that side of the ball due to health reasons. They should be happy. Number 4, I know MF's going to love this, the Miami Dolphins. They head to New England this week in first place with a chance to take a strong command of the division. Head coach Adam Gase has done a heck of a job. Philadelphia Eagles at number 3. They got Carson Wentz back, and he was good enough to win his first start. Now with the rust off, can he build on it? Kansas City Chiefs at number 2. How long can the offense bail out a so-so defense? One good thing from Sunday was the pressure the front got against San Francisco. And my number 1, the Los Angeles Rams. The defense is 27th against the run and 29th in sacks per play. And, of course, it had to be concerning going forward, especially last night. But they managed to get it done, and I think it's pretty certain they're going to stay number 1 next week. I mean, I just think they're the most complete team right now, and man, was that game fun to watch last night. So the LA Rams close it out at number 1, and that will close up shop on this Week 4 edition of NFL Friday. We want to thank you all so very much for tuning in. So Michael Bullock, come on in. Let's get your shout outs here, and then I'll do mine, and then I'll set up our future content.
All right. Of course, we thank you all so very much for tuning in for another edition of Strictly Sports NFL Friday for this week. And of course, shout out to all of you great fans and viewers out there for continuing to support all of our shows as you always do. You are the best out there. And of course, shout out to all of our super fans out there, to all of our friends from our high school days, uh, to Michael Fletcher, who couldn't be with us tonight. Of course, to the Grand Poobah, Derek Ferreira, and of course, all of our personalities from 6, 10, and 12, our personalities from ESPN, Fox Sports, NFL Network, NHL Network, NBA TV, uh, MLB Network, and of course, NFL Network as well. So, and all the other networks out there, and of course, our friends from the Road Show, of course, former co-hosts Mary Larson, Megan Mooney, and of course, Will, Brendan, and Michaela, and of course, Stata Sorrell and Lindsay McCormick. So that's pretty much going to do it for me. So until Monday night for Ridiculously Raw, and it's one I'm definitely looking forward to. It's the go home to the WWE Super Showdown edition of Monday Night Raw. So until then, this is Mike Bullock saying thank you all so very much for tuning in. And of course, you know the routine. Thumbs up, talk to you later. Yeah, throw it up Fortune 4 style. Bye for now. Enjoy your weekend. Enjoy the college football action later today and the NFL action on Sunday. So, Florio, take us home.
Yeah, we'll do, Bullock. Special shout out to all of our tremendous fans and viewers out there who continue to make our shows as over as they are. We appreciate it as always. You are the best fans in the world. Of course, we continue to lift up Dee Woodson, Kevin Woodson, and their family. We continue to lift them up in prayer. I know some major hard times going on with them, so we definitely want to keep them in our thoughts and prayers. And Dee, I mean, take as much time as you need. That's all I can say on that. Take as much time as you need. Don't rush to come back. So get your issues taken care of, and hopefully everything will work out in the name of our Lord. So definitely want to keep her in our thoughts and prayers without a doubt. Of course, our insiders, Jason Hicksonball, Matt Ward, and Daniel Luttrell from the UK. Our other first ladies, Kaiser Butler, Megan Silva, and Lacey Calloway. Our other crew members, Tommy Souza, Eric Carrier, Jimmy Alden, Albert Anderson, and Rob Parsons. And of course, good old MF Michael Fletcher, who couldn't be with us tonight. I'm guessing it was either work commitments beyond his control or he had plans or something. I don't know. But fortunately, he couldn't be with us tonight. And of course, Derek Ferreira, the man who puts it all together. All of our personalities from 6, 10, and 12, ESPN, FS1, MLB Network, NFL Network, NHL Network, NBA TV, Chantel McKay from the Golf Channel, Lindsay McCormick and Stata Sorrell, um, our friends on the Road Show, Will Gilbert, Brendan Kirby, and Michaela Johnson, and former co-host Megan Mooney and Mary Larson. And last but certainly not least, my wonderful friends and church family over at Oasis of Grace Ministries on 464 Silver Spring Street in Providence. If you need a church home, check them out. Exit 25 off Route 95. Sunday morning at 9, Bible study. A little after 10, Sunday service. Wednesday night at 7, Bible study. Other things going on. So looking forward to seeing them again on Sunday for what I know will be another great service. And that's it for that. So um, as of now, the schedule stands as this. Monday night, Ridiculously Raw. Immediately following Monday Night Raw, we'll we'll review Monday Night Raw, the go home show for Super Showdown, and yeah, Shawn Michaels will be in the house. I mean, Ronda Rousey going up against Ruby Riott, Bobby Lashley, I believe, going up against Kevin Owens. So shaping up to be a solid show in Seattle. And of course, I'll also have my Tony's take on 205 Live and Impact Wrestling, and then depending on MF's work schedule, either Tuesday or Wednesday, the Cerebral Smack Talk. We'll review SmackDown Live's Go Home show for Super Showdown, and MF will have his Mikey's Mindset, Lucha Underground, some other things. College Football Thursday. We go into week number 6 of that, and the headliner, of course, the Red River rivalry, Texas and Oklahoma. That's pretty much going to be our headline matchup for next week. And next week, NFL, as of now, NFL Friday, that I know. And some of our headliners next week. I mean, we got a lot of great matchups next week. Indy and New England on Thursday night. We got the Giants against Carolina, Miami against Cincinnati, Baltimore and Cleveland. That just got interesting. Green Bay against Detroit, Jacksonville against Kansas City. Ooh, that's going to be a good one. Atlanta against Pittsburgh. An NFC Championship rematch with Minnesota and Philadelphia. The Rams against Seattle. And Washington against New Orleans. So some great headline matchups next week. So, and that's all, and that's what I have for now. So, until Monday night for Ridiculously Raw, it's Anthony Floyo here for Michael Bullock and in spirit. Good old MF Michael Fletcher, Didi Woodson, and Derek Ferrer. You know the routine, everybody. Thumbs up. Talk to you later. Yeah, throw it up, Fortune 4 style. Bye for now, my friends. God bless. Be good to each other. Have a blessed weekend. Enjoy all of the college action today and the NFL action on Sunday. Until Monday night for Ridiculously Raw, you've been watching Week 4 of Strictly Sports NFL Friday right here on the Tone 25 and YouTube.com. For everybody who's been a part of this one, for now, Anthony Floyo, so long, and bye, everybody, bye.